not a sponsor. Okay, so step one is to get your models something like this. Okay, so all over. So what we're going to use for this is some skeleton horde. Okay, let's give it a quick shake. Shake it like you make it. Okay. Now, the joys of trying to do this with a camera. Okay, try and keep this in the right place. I've got a nice big brush here, you see. Look at that, the brush is nearly as big as the model. I'm actually going to get the entire model. What this will do is it will just give everything something to grip to. The camera wobbles, that's because my paintbrush keeps hitting the camera. My brush has gotten hard overnight. Ooh! Okay. So, that is the first one done. Just making sure I got all the bits. Try to avoid a little bit of pooling. It's not going to be the end of the world if you get a bit of pooling here and there. Because what it does is it reacts with another paint that we're going to use later to get the next colour. Okay, you can see a little bit of gun there. So we just want to get in there, just so at least there's a bit of paint on everything. Right, that's one done. Okay, 3 cups of tea later. So they're all dry. So the next stage is we want to get them to this. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to paint the next colour over everything apart from what we want to be white. This doesn't matter because this is going to be red later. And then some bits are going to be silver and other colours. So, but mostly just concentrate on getting the skin done. Get the skin there, but avoid the belly button bits. So I've got 6 of them here that need doing. So yes. So this is a good example. This one here is probably the best example to show you on. It's not one of the original 3. Okay, so what I'm doing for this is I'm using a smaller brush. So still quite small. So I can get around here. We can get the beak and all that. So the other option is that rather than doing this, you could use a sponge. But just try and avoid these bits and then just sponge it on, and that will give you more of a mottled Kroot look. Anyway, let's get to it. So the colour we need now is this. Now this is where the magic happens. This is a Grip Charger Grey, and it mixes with the tone underneath, and you get like a green. But you see, it's still got bits of brown in here and there, so it's kind of natural. It's kind of a naturalish thing. So let's just get some paint on this, shall we? Okay. Let's go, maybe. Right. Now, if you do just get some paint on the chest by accident, just wipe it off with some water. So I tend to do batch painting, because then if you do, you can just let the water dry for a bit and then come back in. Don't forget, these Kroot are kind of quite feral, so you can kind of get away with a few things on them. Now, I've noticed a lot of people on YouTube that is showing you how to paint. Start with the feet and work up. I tend to start with the head and work down. I haven't done it in this video. Not sure. Probably because I've got a camera in my face, between my face and the model, so it's kind of hard to see what I'm doing. The joys. All right. So what I should probably do is not do all of them on camera, just because I can get it done a lot quicker. you can see it's kind of quite thick here and there. Again, you're going to get different thicknesses. Just fine, get that in the eyes there. I'll get onto the quills. Not for any reason, it's just to make sure I get these bits in here. It's just to make sure I've got that. We are now applying snakebite leather to the leathery parts. So what we do is most of the leathery parts are going to be in a snakebite leather. We might leave a few bits to do in black later. We'll get to that bit. So yep, just try and be careful. If you do get it on anything, then just get a little bit of water and just feather it into the edges of what was meant to be snakebite leather. But yeah, don't worry, you know, just it's quite a long stage, this bit, doing snakebite leather. So just yeah, it's mostly because it's just a small bit. It's just because you've got small detailed bits and you're just trying to get that initial shape. If you do put a bit of snakebite leather on something, it's going to be black later. Don't worry. You can also put snakebite leather on areas which you think might be gold later, like bracelets and stuff like that. That way, if you do miss them, it just looks like a leathery bracelet and something later on. So after the torture of the snakebite leather, we can do the red whilst that's drying. So here we are using Flesh Terror's red. Just quickly swish it in there, get it all over those quills. It's going to be quite dark, but don't worry, we want it nice and dark. Later on as a stage which will brighten it all up, so fear not. And then whilst that's drying, we can get on with the next bit. Okay, contrast Black Legion. So I'm going to go back to the cloth. Let's grab this one here. So you can see this one I left some cloth undone. In this case it was deliberate. If there's some that's done by accident, then again hit it with the black. Okay. Let's go in here. They don't need to be done, they're going to be silver later anyway, but just tuck that in there. Just check to see if there's anything that's being missed. Any clothy stuff? Nope, all good. Okay, excellent. So that's that one done. But you can see if you get the odd bit of black on a few of them, it just kind of breaks up that one. Okay, so we are now using dryad bark? I can't remember what it is now. Hopefully you can see the pot. It's a dark brown contrast paint, and we are using this for straight from the pot onto things like the wooden bits, like calves of knives and maybe the wooden stocks of the guns, for example. And then on the beak of the Kroot, what we've done is we've got a bit of Lamia medium, painted it on the beak, and then added the brown on top. And this kind of just helps it kind of not too, you don't want it too thick, you want to show the details in the beak because the beak is kind of part of the facial feature. So yeah. Now I did do silver earlier off camera, and I used a lead belcher for this, just painted it on all the bits that I wanted to be metallic. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do gold, and then the gold will go over any parts that we want to be gold, really. So you can go over some of the previous painted parts that were snakebite leather, for example. You can go over some of the parts that we painted with our silver. And what we'll do here is we're just kind of just trying to add a bit of definition, so just around sort of certain parts, just so we haven't got like a solid metal colour going through. We've got two shades of metal, effectively gold and silver. I was saying silver, it's lead belcher. I've used just the Retributor Armour gold here, the one you use for Stormcast, and it's just really, because it's a nice dark one. And what we're going to do later is we're going to put a few washes over, and that will kind of bring it to the shade that we want, a bit more of a worn metal. Okay, so we've done the gold, we've done the other colours. Things to take note of are on the quills. I put some gold. Yeah, so you can see it's all kind of coming together. There's a little bit of black I need to put in there. But this is what I mean. You do. So what we're going to do now is just do a quick check over all the models, just to see if you are going to miss something. It's just the way of these things. But just check for bits you've missed. Like, for example, this little dot here. I just need to go over in black. And then once that's done, we're going to start making the magic happen. The magic section, which will be basically 2 washes in particular areas, and then a dry brush. And then right at the end, we do the eyes. Okay, next up is the ink wash. So I'm basically going to do anything that's metallic and anything that's black. We'll go with a Nuln oil, and also the front of the quills, just so it darkens the area. So what I'll do is just go pop, 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 and look for anything that's metallic. It doesn't matter too much if you get it on any other colour. Try not to, but just got a warning coming up on my camera. Okay, so I'll do this quickly just in case there's an issue. But just in case I don't, also do the shoulder pad. Okay. I'll just do this now in case my camera cuts off. Just remember that Kroot aren't the best at maintaining their equipment. So the next bit is the wonders of Reikland's Flesh Shade. So this is another ink, or as they call it against Workshop, the shade. So what we're going to do is everything that's not green or white gets this. So even the beak. And what this does is it just kind of adds a little bit of richness to it all. Okay. Oh look, I missed a bit there. Look at that. So here's an interesting one. So I missed this bit. So I'm just going to paint this with the Reikland shade for now. Probably go over that in black later. Alright, and then up here. My camera's been playing me up a bit, so it wouldn't settle down to where I wanted it to go. It kept wanting to move. So, just gonna. You can see this is quite easy because it's over the brown, over the black. Well, the black, yeah, over the black, and over the silver. It's literally over everything that is not flesh. I did originally do it over the flesh, and it just kind of darkens it too much. Also, the metal just kind of adds a bit of weathering, so it's not so bad. If it does get on the flesh, it's not the end of the world, and it's quite nice to sort of hit the flesh here and there with it. just because it kind of, you see here, I've got a bit on the flesh with that, but it's gonna shrink as it dries. So just kind of keep in mind sometimes what paints do when they're doing their do. Okay, so you see, I didn't do the shadow pad this time, like I did with the black. I'm going to go to another one. So the meat on the back here, you can see I've got the bones. I left the bones, but with the meat, what I used was a Magos purple. I got it here, just so you can see it. So it's Magos purple for the bits of meat. Just because it kind of gives a fleshy colour, but it's an alien. So who knows what their meat's like. So, okay, that sounded wrong. This is very hard to do on the camera, by the way. So I really should be doing the non-important ones on the camera, but there we go. All right. You can see just, again, everything that's not skin or white. Again, on the quills. The idea of the quills is just trying to build up a real darkness in there, because when we do it a little bit later, you'll see why. Now, I'm currently working on the bases. And I'm not quite sure where I'm going to go with it, because originally I did them in a brown, which is good, but it's a bit dull over the meat, even with this. That's not a voice of experience, that's just a voice of, well, it is a voice of experience, I guess. But I haven't done it on this, I haven't done it on these, but in the past on other models, I kind of with a flesh, I put like a brown ink over the top or something similar, and it does help just to sort of define it all. Right, just get rid of some of this pooling. Oh, and the beak. Now there's tongues in some of these. If you want to do the tongues, what I would do is at the end, so I'll probably forget whilst I'm doing these videos, at the end maybe pick out the tongue and again use Magos purple. Magos purple is a great colour. It's kind of a little bit gross, but a little bit great. I'm even using it on the bases a little bit if I do my jungle base plan. I got my jungle bases now. I'll show you later, hopefully. The base so far has just been stirred in mud, if I haven't said so far. And I did that early on just because it takes so long to dry. Okay, I'm going to get on and do the rest. This is where we make the magic happen. So this here is, I'm just going to get up here. I like using this wooden palette. Right, so just going to take a bit off my hand. So this is Screaming Skull. So off my hand. Now this is kind of a dry brush. So this is a makeup brush. It's one that my wife didn't want, probably, or one I found cheap in a pound shop. Number 7, I contour. If that helps anybody, I have no idea. Maybe check your wife's. Now the idea here is we're going to get the brown, and it's just to kind of highlight effectively the beak. Just drag down on the beak because you just want to hit the edge, just to make it a bit more, and then just look at the shapes of things and how it needs to go. Okay, and then on the hair, go down again, more on the tips, because what we're going to do is going to go over that with a little bit of orange later, and that will pick up on the. Okay, and that's that. So here's my others I've done. Not the pot over, but lucky it's not much in there. So you can see. So I'm not worried about the skin. If it gets on the skin, it gets on the skin. It's not the end of the world. But yeah. Yeah. Right, I'm going to get on and do the rest of them. Okay, so the last few bits. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do the eye. So what I've done is I've already put a little bit of a dot of paint in the eye there. and I just used Corax white, any white will do. And then from there, what you want to use is any colour you want really, but I'm choosing Inyali yellow. I did originally try, I'm shaking the bottle as I'm talking. So I did try using Mantis Warrior green, but it kind of worked, but it didn't work. So it didn't really shine up enough. So what I'm doing is I'm putting one dab of this in there. So I'm going to do another bit. Just want to make this nice and juicy. Okay, and just wipe away my finger a bit. So that's that. I'm just going to leave that to dry, and that'll do the job nicely. Now the other bit we need to do is more shaking. Is the hair. So, you know, I haven't actually done this one's base. Look at that, I missed his base. I was so excited to get these finished. See what I missed? Typical, isn't it? Right, okay, so because we did the dry brushing on the hair, we can now take a bit of paint off the brush and put a little bit of orange in here. Now the reason being is it will stick nicely to the dry brushing, and it will just be a bit fresher than a dark red. And then just take off any pooling. Now you might have to, in this case here, redo the, some of them I haven't done the beads on properly anyway, so you might have to redo the beading. But what you can do, like in this case here, taking a bit of water, taking the water off my brush so it's dry, and just do that. Use your thumb. Doesn't really take long. See? Look at that. Okay, so, and that is, if it wasn't for the base being muffed, I haven't done the base, that's it pretty much done. I mean, you can do all sorts. You could put like, some red on the thing. Oh, the quills. So I need to do the quills as well. So what I'm going to do is, for the quills, I'm going to use Flesh, what's it called? Flesh Terrors Red. Let's give it a shake. Let's just do this one whilst we've got him out here. I know this base isn't done, but the base, once that's done, you can literally just put a black rim or whatever colour rim you like to use on your base. I'm going to be using black for these probably. I have been doing some experiments, and I have been thinking about going jungle bases on these. Try and get this model forward without knocking the pot over. Okay. Let's turn it over. I've got some up here as well. So I tend to work from the base of the quill up. That way I'm using the shape of the brush. When I used to try and teach people to paint at King's Workshop, I used to always say, let the mini do the painting. I mean, I see some of the artists on here and they are stunningly amazing, but they really do fight against the model sometimes. So, change the model's angle, and then I'm using contrast for this, for the reason is I'm hoping it will dry nicely. Okay, so some nice deep dark red. That just helps it stand out. I don't want it too orangey. But yeah, there you go. I think that is, considering that this is a low skill level to do, it's just using some very simple techniques. You don't need to be an artist, but it really does convey what you want. You've got a Kroot and he's ready to go. Thank you for watching. Here is a little montage of the Kroot I've already painted. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you could give us a like, maybe a subscribe so you can see a notification when we do the jungle bases. And yes, thank you very much. See you again soon. Bye.